Welcome back to Talk of the Town. We're joined by one of our media partners, Tom Dowling with Aegis Planning.
Hi.
Always so good to see you.
Thank you. And
Okay,
you too.
so we're going to make this really short and sweet. If you don't have a plan, get a plan.
Yeah,
All right,
nice
we'll see you
talking.
next time.
Take care.
Okay. That's really the bottom line.
Yeah,
It's
it
totally
always
the bottom
is.
line. It always is the bottom line. Are you seeing things change right now with the whole coronavirus?
The financial plan itself isn't changing, but because actually this is why you have a financial plan for
Yeah,
these
kinda,
types
right?
of environments. So that hasn't changed, but there are some short-term strategies you can do. Unfortunately, people will be making less money this year. If you own a business, you've been laid off, furloughed. So there are some tax planning strategies because the less money you make, the lower your tax rate.
Right.
So try and turn a negative into a positive. So maybe if you have a large capital gain, right, that you've owned something for years.
Right.
You might want to take that gain this year because you're going to pay lower or no taxes on that.
Gotcha,
depending
because
on
your
where you
income,
are.
because what you're bringing in
Correct.
overall is a little bit lower.
Correct, because then your tax rate is lower. You could do what's called a Roth conversion, where you have a traditional IRA and you can convert that to a Roth IRA. Yes, you're going to pay taxes now on it, but again, if you're at a very low rate
Right.
temporarily,
Right.
pay the taxes now, and then you'll never pay taxes on
And
it
then
again.
just kind of tweak again for the following year
Yeah,
later
or
on.
you won't pay taxes on that conversion money again.
Gotcha.
So you pay at a low rate, so you don't have to pay at a high rate. That's what it boils down to. Or if you can't do that, just contribute to a Roth 401k instead of a traditional. Pay the taxes now at a lower rate,
Okay.
so you don't pay it at the higher rate. Let's hope, and we all think it is, this is temporary, so in the
Yeah.
future your income will go higher and the tax rates will go higher. So pay it while it's low or none at all.
I gotcha. I think that just brings it right back to having the plan, right? And if you don't have a plan, get a plan.
That's right.
Make a plan. This is a really good time for planning. And I think a lot of hope comes in this because folks are looking for a way to not just plan for the future, but something that's going to be hopeful. You know, when you're building towards something, I think, you know, and it's not even about getting back to normal. It's about just being here now and what you can do positive, you know, a positive step one can take to sort of get there.
That's right, and I'll use this example. Right, when you get up in the morning, and if you have a plan for your day, and you've written out what you plan on doing, you feel better during the day when you've accomplished all those things.
Absolutely.
And it's the same concept. You take this time while you have the time. Create a plan. Whether you do it yourself, that's better than not having one.
Sure.
Whether you use a professional, you know, I've been through a lot of these crises before. I've been through 9/11. I've been through the financial crisis, the tech bubble, and everyone has their own nuances, right? This COVID has never happened before.
Yeah.
But one thing that's always been consistent for me is anyone who I've seen that had a plan going into these
Yeah.
was better off in the long run.
They
fared better.
Yeah.
Because they have a strategy.
And they have sales to adjust.
They have-
Right? When the wind changes, you adjust the sales.
And that's exactly right. You can adjust the plan as time goes on.
Yeah.
But you need to start somewhere. You build a house, you have a foundation, and then you adjust what you want
Yeah.
by the way it looks. It's the same concept. So do that now while you have the time, create a plan, and then adjust as life changes.
Retirement savings or plans, are they changing? You talked a little bit about tax breaks, but is there anything that's shifting or any trends that are sort of happening right now?
No trends, but they do have some programs for retirement plans. So for example, if you have hardship because of this,
Yeah.
you can take out $100,000 from your retirement plan and spread those taxes over 3 years.
Oh, wow.
So that could be helpful. Obviously, if you don't have to do it, these are last resorts, but you can do it. Also, they've increased the loan amounts. So it used to be $50,000. Now you can take a loan from your 401k up to $100,000.
Oh, that can be so helpful for
So it
folks.
could be helpful at this point.
Yeah.
Also with required minimum distributions. So RMDs, if you're 72 and above, you have to take money out of your retirement plan.
Right.
They've suspended that for 2020.
Wow.
Because what they don't want you to do, the government, the IRS, they work with you. They don't want you to have to sell your investments when they're much lower and then take the money out, so
Right.
you don't have to take out your RMD, required minimum distribution, for 2020.
Wow. All right, so for somebody who's sort of been managing stuff on their own right now, you're seeing people.
Yeah.
So, and you've been doing Zoom conferences for years,
Yeah.
right? But is it a good time? I mean, I think it's kind of a perfect time to adjust or just to have somebody to bounce ideas off of. Is that something that you do?
Yeah, of course. Anytime you can talk and help someone, it works. So what happens a lot of times is you make someone comes in, they talk about what they're looking to do, what they want to do, what they want to create, and then we help to put those steps in place. And sometimes some of those steps happen right away, and then some happen long term.
Yeah.
But start it now. Bounce the ideas. One might make sense, one might not.
And help someone keep you on course.
Yeah. I mean, it just makes sense to just set a plan. If you have a kid and you went into their school and said, okay, what is my daughter's, son's education plan for the year? And they said, I don't know. I haven't thought about that. You'd be horrified, right?
Yeah, right? They're going into this
Right,
grade.
but you
and
don't have
they're-
a plan for
yeah.
them, so why don't you do the same with your finances?
Sure.
And I will say this, and for me, it would be remiss to say, some of the strategies I talked about, obviously it's not advice for viewers because everyone's different.
Everyone's different.
So that person should see their own planner.
Well, they
or
just need to get in
tax
touch with you.
advisor,
I mean, they just need to get in touch
whoever
with
it
you
is
and see.
who understands them to talk about it.
Do you also assess where somebody is at currently with their current investments, if they're with
yeah.
somebody else? I mean, just to see if this is like,
Oh, yeah.
'cause it's always good, they say when you're in a studio to get an outside ear to listen to the track.
Correct.
I think that's a really great idea for folks as well, just to kind of, just touch base, do a
that's-
little investigation.
That's part of the plan, right?
Yeah.
What we do is, where do you want to be?
Yeah.
Where are you now? What do we have to do to adjust that so you can get to where you want to be?
Yeah. Real quick, small businesses, stuff out there for them?
Yeah,
And you
it's-
can help people get there?
Well, there's quite a few programs that you can do. We don't necessarily do it, but we help clients to navigate them. The
Yeah.
Paycheck Protection Program, which is common nowadays. There's a lot of
Nuances.
to
Yeah.
it. And the Economic Injury Disaster Loan,
Yeah.
also a lot of nuances, but they could be beneficial because parts of it can be forgiven. So that's something you want to talk to your local banker about the details.
Uh-huh.
But we help people navigate that. And then, there's the other ones that you don't hear much about, which is the Employee Retention Tax Credit, which you want to talk to your tax accountant about. But a business owner can get a tax credit based on the Social Security taxes they pay for
wow.
employees. Because
So
every
many
paycheck,
nuances.
you can see you have your Social Security taxes. Well,
Yeah.
the business has to pay their share. They won't have to pay that until the end of the year.
Perfect.
So increased cash flow. So there are
Again,
quite a few programs.
it's the plan. It's about the plan. Tom Dowling with Aegis Planning. Tom Aegis. All right, so good to spend some
I'm a
time
new
with
man.
you. We'll be back with more talk of the town.